Hello and welcome. I am Pranay Upadhyay and you are watching Namaste World, your daily window into the biggest stories shaping India and the world. We begin in South Asia. Tarique Rahman's victory in Dhaka signals a strategic reset for India and South Asia. Back in West Asia, Recep Tayyip Erdoğan, Turkey's president, deploys Turkish F-16s to Mogadishu, signaling expanding global military ambitions. And the biggest news of the day, Bangladesh Nationalist Party sweeps polls in the Bangladesh elections as India weighs security risks along sensitive border districts. All that and more. Global flashpoints, power plays and stories that matter. Coming up in this edition of Namaste World. The Bangladesh Nationalist Party, led by Tarique Rahman, is set to form the next government after a sweeping electoral victory. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already extended congratulations, signaling India's intent to engage early and keep ties stable. But beneath the diplomacy, Delhi is watching closely. While the BNP has won nationally, Jamaat-e-Islami has made significant gains in districts along the India borders, including Satkhira, Kushtia and Rangapur. For India, the geography matters. These are sensitive frontier zones facing West Bengal, Assam and Siliguri Corridor, areas long vulnerable for infiltration, smuggling and extremist networks. Security agencies are less worried about immediate violence and more concerned about long-term ecosystem shift, rural mosques networks and madrasa influence, selective infiltration and digital radicalization. There is no public evidence of direct wrongdoing, but political control at the local level can change incentive and administrative posture. At the same time, Delhi remembers the BNP's earlier tenure between 2001 and 2006, a period marked by cross-border insurgency, concerns and Chittagong arms haul. Rahman, however, is now signaling a reset, promising counter-terror cooperation, protection of minorities and more equal relationship with India under his Bangladesh First doctrine. India's calculation is clear. It wants continuity on border management, firm action against infiltration, protection of Hindu minorities and stability in trade. With 14 billion in annual commerce and deep security linkages built during Sheikh Hasina's era, Delhi is keen to preserve strategic gains. The question now is whether BNP's promises translate into policy and whether border districts newly represented by Jamaat lawmakers alter the security equation. Only time will tell. A political earthquake has struck Dhaka. Tarique Rahman's Bangladesh Nationalist Party has swept to power, ending Sheikh Hasina's long dominance and reshaping South Asia's strategic landscape. For India, this is more than a transition. It is geopolitical reset. Will Delhi recalibrate swiftly or risk losing ground in its own neighborhood? Here's a report by Rudrashish Kanjilal.
A political earthquake in Dhaka. Tarique Rahman's Bangladesh Nationalist Party has swept to power, ending the long dominance of Sheikh Hasina's Awami League and reshaping the strategic map of South Asia. This is not just a domestic transition. This is a geopolitical moment. And for India, this means the comfort zone is over. After years in political exile, Tarique Rahman, son of former Prime Minister Khalida Zia, is back at the center of power. His party built its campaign on Bangladesh first. In plain terms, that means recalibrating ties with India. For over a decade, Delhi and Dhaka enjoyed unprecedented warmth under Sheikh Hasina. Security cooperation deepened. Anti-India insurgent networks were dismantled. Connectivity projects expanded. Trade flourished. That era delivered stability. Now, the equation changes. The BNP's political legacy includes sharper rhetoric towards India, especially on water sharing, border management, and what it calls imbalanced economic ties. Expect the Teesta River issue to return to the front page. Expect stronger language on border incidents. Expect Dhaka to assert greater strategic autonomy. But here's the strategic reality. Geography doesn't change. Bangladesh is India's immediate neighbor. Trade routes, power grids, rail lines, ports, they are intertwined. Any government in Dhaka will need economic stability, and that stability runs through cooperation with India. So, while rhetoric may rise, hard interests will prevail. Delhi must stay firm, patient and strategic. Now to Islamabad. For Pakistan, this is an opening. Islamabad has long sought to rebuild influence in Bangladesh. influence it lost after 1971. A BNP government may offer warm diplomatic optics compared to the previous regime. But let's be realistic. Bangladesh's economy is export-driven. Its supply chains connect eastward, not westward. Symbolism will not override economics. Pakistan may test the waters, but Bangladesh cannot afford to tilt in ways that jeopardize trade access or regional stability. India's core concern remains security. Under the previous government, cross-border terror infrastructure targeting India was dismantled. Intelligence sharing improved. Northeast insurgent sanctuary shrank dramatically. Delhi will expect continuity. Any rollback on counter-terror cooperation will be a red line. And minority safety, particularly the Hindu community, will remain closely watched. India will not interfere, but India will not ignore. Then there's another player in the story. China has invested heavily in Bangladesh's infrastructure, ports, roads and energy. A government seeking to diversify away from perceived Indian dominance may look to Beijing for leverage. Delhi must anticipate this, not react emotionally, but compete strategically. Offer faster projects, better market access, stronger regional integration. Influence is earned, not assumed. So where does this leave India? Clear-eyed, not alarmed. Bangladesh has changed governments. It has not changed geography. Delhi's approach now must be disciplined. Engage early, protect security interests, push connectivity, defend strategic space. South Asia is entering a new phase, and India must lead it, not react to it. Because this is not a crisis, it is a test of strategic maturity. With Rudrashish Kanjilal, Bureau Report, India Today Global.
Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan is expanding Turkey's military footprints far beyond its borders. Turkish F-16s have now landed in Mogadishu, marking a bold projection of air power into Horn of Africa, from Libya to the Caucasus. Ankara's fighter jets are reshaping regional equations. But is Turkey now stepping into global power politics? Here's a report by Farhan Khan.
Turkey is no longer keeping its fighter jets close to home. In a major show of military reach, Ankara has quietly deployed F-16 fighter jets to Somalia, thousands of kilometers away from Turkish territory, signaling a growing willingness to project air power far beyond its borders. At least 3 Turkish F-16s landed in Mogadishu in late January, supported by cargo aircraft carrying equipment and supplies. Satellite images suggest new hangars were built at the city's international airport right next to Turkey's largest overseas military base. Officially, the jets are there to support Turkish drone operations against the Al-Shabaab militant group and to secure Ankara's expanding interests in Somalia. Turkey is planning offshore oil drilling, major infrastructure projects, and even a future spaceport in the country, investments that now come with air power protection. But Somalia is just the latest stop. Turkey operates one of the world's largest F-16 fleets and has increasingly used these jets as tools of deterrence, reassurance, and geopolitical messaging. In the Gulf, Ankara has deployed F-16s to Qatar, strengthening a defense partnership that began during the 2017 regional blockade. Turkish jets have flown hundreds of joint missions there, boosting Doha's air capabilities and cementing Turkey's role as a key security backer. In the Caucasus, Turkish F-16s were stationed in Azerbaijan ahead of its war with Armenia in 2020, widely seen as a warning to Yerevan not to escalate further. Over North Africa, Turkish F-16s patrolled Libya's coast during the civil war, backing the UN-recognized government in Tripoli and signaling Ankara's readiness to intervene if needed. These deployments are very different from NATO air patrols in Europe. They reflect a new Turkish strategy, using fighter jets to influence conflicts, protect allies, and secure economic interests far from home. Turkey's Air Force, long built around American-made aircraft, remains centered on the F-16, but Ankara is now diversifying, buying Eurofighter Typhoons and developing its own stealth fighter, the TF Khan, giving it even more freedom to act independently. For now, Somalia shows how far Turkey is willing to go. From West Asia to the Caucasus, from North Africa to the Horn of Africa, Turkish fighter jets are becoming a familiar sight in conflict-prone regions. And the message is clear. Ankara is no longer just a regional power defending its borders. It is increasingly acting like a military player with global reach. With Farhan Khan, Bureau Report, India Today Global.
As we wrap up today's show, here's a quick look at the top stories making waves around the world. Thousands rallied in Caracas demanding the release of Nicolas Maduro after US forces captured him in a bold military strike, sparking outrage and protests. At the Munich Security Conference, Keir Starmer will push for a multinational defense initiative to coordinate joint weapons procurement and reduce Europe's rearmament costs. As war with Russia near its fifth year, Ukraine expects approval of an $8.2 billion International Monetary Fund program to stabilize finance and plug mounting deficits. And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Namaste World. From breakthrough in technology and business to political developments and natural disasters. Stay tuned as we bring you the latest updates, key developments and more from New Delhi to New York. See you again tomorrow, same time, right here on Namaste World.